What up, fam? It's your boy Kale. Welcome to the Kale Show. Today we're going to talk about buying the dip and other shady stuff that is happening on the internet. We're just going to cruise the freaking Twitter timeline right now, okay? Because I'm in Nashville for my sister's birthday. I don't got a lot of time, but I just want to cruise through my tweets over the past few days and just talk about some stuff that's happening in the world, and this will help me stay organized. So if you guys are like, Kale, why are you reading your tweets on the YouTube? Well, I'm just trying to keep my thoughts organized for you guys so that you have something to look at. Welcome to the Kale Show. We're not going to talk about much other than there's a lot of crazy stuff happening. A lot of people are screaming, buy the dip, buy the dip, buy the dip. But last week, if you would have watched the show, we were talking about the one big event, right? The one big event that was going to define the rest of the year. And I was trying to tell you guys on May 5th, or on May 4th, not going to lie, that this ain't dovish. You guys know that Bitcoin crashed last week, right? We had an absolute massive dump from around $40,000 down to $35,000. I know it looks tiny on my screen because I am using a laptop, but this price action right here, I told you guys about, and I warned you about 4 weeks, and I told you that the FOMC conference was going to cause this dump. And I also traded this, and I told you guys that I bought some Ethereum, but a lot of you guys are over here on Twitter saying, Kale, you don't know how to trade. You're not very good at trading. Well, if you just look here on my Twitter, I showed you everything that I posted in my Discord, which is a live Discord for the people that are in our NFT project, which is always linked below. Make sure you check that out. But I bought some ETH last week. You can see the dates on here. It's kind of hard to hide it when it's public. You know, it's in the public. It's in our Discord for all NFT holders. Bought a bunch of ETH on 5.3, and then I was thinking, you know what, guys? I might sell this right after this first little pump that we got here after the FOMC conference. Immediately, right, like they released the first data, and then we had a nice little juicy little pump. You can't really see here, but you see how this candle goes all the way up to here to like $40,000. That's when I sold the Ethereum, as you can see here. Wait, here we go. Where are we? Right here. Might sell after this bounce, and then I said, yep, looking to exit this trade. It's going to be profitable, and there you go. So I got out of this trade, made some money on the trade, and then Bitcoin had a massive dump. So if you are, the lesson learned here, number one, is if you are trying to trade this kind of price action right here with YouTube videos, you're probably not going to be very successful. If you are not in a community of successful people who are bouncing ideas off each other, if you don't have a strategy for your trading in this environment, you are better off not trading, which is why I recommend that most people just earn interest right now. You can go to blockfi.com/Kale for this month only. This is the last month of that sponsorship, so make sure you check that out if you want to earn interest on your coins. But enough with all the stuff, you know, the links and stuff, okay? What I want to talk about is the stuff that I've been talking about on Twitter, just to give you guys a quick update, because I don't know, I think that there's a lot going on in the world. I don't want to make a video every single day, but I do post here on Twitter a lot about current events and stuff that's happening. So let me just scroll through here, and as we find something, I'll just rant a little bit. If that sounds good to you, smash the like button and share this with someone who is getting actual real knowledge on YouTube today from someone who's not here to just say, we're going to the moon. And I know, it's just one of those things. Okay. This is my favorite one, I think, guys, is this right here. This Roe versus Wade thing. Let's just talk about it. Okay. Whew. I'm not gonna pick a side on this. I'm not gonna say You know why I'm not gonna pick a side? Because I think it's all a distraction. I think that these people want us to fight. I think that these people release this data at the same exact time as this Pfizer data came out that's talking about how this vaccine is literally killing people, and we're sitting here supposed to be like, oh, it's fine, it's okay, people are dying of heart attacks, but it's fine. Oh, so that was a really interesting coincidence that a Supreme Court ruling gets leaked on the same day as the most conspiracy theory, the most horrible data that you've ever heard about in your life comes out, right? That just seems like almost too much of a coincidence. Then, it was also a couple days before we had this FOMC and a total market nuke. If you guys have seen, the past few days in the markets, like this is just the SPY. This is supposed to be the best stocks in the world. Look at this thing. Look at this. Just straight down. And that's right after they knew that this FOMC conference was coming out. They knew that was going to nuke the markets. And they were like, let's just distract from that. Hey, squirrel! It's the Roe versus Wade thing. And so, I don't know, guys. I just wanted to get my opinion out there. I don't think that we should be fighting about this. I think that no one cared about this until they made you care about it. They put it on your TV. I mean, I know we care. I'm not saying people don't have strong opinions. Obviously, people have strong opinions. But I'm saying that no one was talking about it. It wasn't a big pressing issue until they forced it to be a pressing issue. So why do we only make things a pressing issue when the people in power decide that it's a pressing issue for them? right? Maybe we should do it on our own terms. Maybe we should determine the schedule of what we think is a pressing issue. And what I think is a pressing issue is something that is not a purposeful distraction from the actual current events of society right now. This is a distraction. If we're fighting about this, we're doing exactly what the people in power want us to do. So let's stop freaking doing that. I like this. Whew, I get a little riled up. I just read my tweets. Maybe I'll put my hood on up here in this freaking hotel. Damn, man. All right, let's get to the next one. All right, so another cool thing, if you guys are interested in interest, we're going to be all over the place in this video today. I don't really care. If you can't stay focused for a 10-minute YouTube video, you're not going to make money in this market. But I'm going to try to give you stuff to prepare you for the real world, for crypto, and just for all the stuff that's literally happening in our society right now that you need to pay attention to. If you like that, come back. If you don't, go watch some other stupid channel, okay? I think that stablecoin is going to re-up the Anchor Protocol reserve. So I'm not going to get into this a lot, but there's a way to earn interest that's like 18% interest. It's through Anchor Protocol. Go research it. They have this yield reserve that is basically just this pile of money that is used to pay out interest to holders of this of UST. Okay, and so what I think is going to happen over the next few days is we're going to top up that yield reserve by about $1 billion. There's been some hints on that from the actual owner of Luna, the master of Luna, this guy right here. So that is coming. So if you are interested in like a high yield interest that is very, very safe, I think that this is something to look into. So that's something just totally off the rant that I just did. But I don't know. Here, let's talk a little bit about let's talk a little bit more about some stuff that's happening on in the world, because I was kind of on a rant there. I guess what I wanted to talk about, and the kind of the main title of this video, right, is the buy the dip culture. And I think that people are so stupid. I think that this stuff has happened over and over again. And I've been in Bitcoin long enough to know that Bitcoin doesn't go down in a straight line, right? So if you just look at this chart, okay, there's always going to be people screaming buy the dip, right? So let's go back to all the dips that you guys probably remember. Okay, let's go back to the Elon dip, right? So the Elon dip in the summer last year, this exact time last year, do you notice something about this chart, right? This is when basically it dumped, right? We had the big dump. But as we went down, look what happened. We had a little bounce here. You can't really see it. You had a little bounce here, right? You had a little bounce here. You had thousands of bounces. Look at this. Bounce, bounce, bounce. There's like 15 bounces as we're finding a bottom. It just keeps bouncing. And everyone's like, buy the dip, buy the dip, buy the dip. And I think that is why we keep getting these bounces. Why do we keep getting so many bounces and then it ends up getting lower and people just actually get wrecked? Because this is where you should have bought. You should have bought right here. If you bought here or here or here or here, you missed out. You lost money, right? It's very, very simple. But no, you should have bought right here. And the reason that there's people that are just doing this and they're stubbornly buying the dip is because of, I don't know, assholes on YouTube and Twitter who keep telling you that like, oh, it's bottoming out. There's all these indicators. There aren't. The only indicators that matter, and clearly we showed this last week when we saw the FOMC conference, is how much money are these bankers going to print. Bitcoin is not correlated to anything other than the stock market, guys. You can go look at the charts yourself. When Bitcoin goes down, when the stock market goes down, Bitcoin goes down. When the stock market goes up, Bitcoin goes up. Okay, that's it. And the liquidity in the market is the only thing that matters. And so the only thing that matters for the next little bumps here, are we going to get a dump? Or are we going to get a bump? Everyone wants to know, right? The only thing that matters is next week, which is the schedule of this consumer price index release. Okay, the CPI index release is next week. I'm warning you guys early. I'm making this video from my hotel room to try to help you out. So share this with someone. This is coming out on May 11th. May 11th, Wednesday at 8:30 a.m. This is the only event that matters for crypto. Everyone's going to tell you bullish divergence. We're bottoming out. RSI is low. We're at completely oversold territories. Smash the like button if you've heard this stupid shit on Twitter. We're oversold. We're following this cycle. And I've been guilty of that in the past, but I've come to realize, guys, that there is nothing that matters other than what is the federal government going to do as far as printing money, because the entire world is on this crack cocaine addiction to liquidity and money printing. And so when the money printer turns off, everything goes down. And for now, we have been very, very clear. I have a tweet in here somewhere where I talk about how Biden says that this is perfect right here. Read this, okay? Jerome Powell said, "I will quite literally do whatever it takes to calm inflation even if I have to personally liquidate your grandma's 401k. That's basically what he came out on the stage last week and said. He didn't exactly say your grandma's 401k, but he said, I am the inflation police. The inflation is too high, and I will personally see to it by slowing down the money printer that this inflation is taken care of. Okay, so that's what he said. And so I actually believe him, right? The rest of crypto Twitter is like, this was priced in, I'm so bullish, we're going to the moon, bear trap, bull trap, whatever, trap, we're going up. Everyone, guys, why don't you just listen to the man's words? If you would have just listened to his words last week when I was talking, like I was in here saying live in the Discord, I was saying, guys, this doesn't look great. This doesn't look great. I'm looking to exit this trade because what he's saying is he's going to slow. Powell is the inflation fighter. When you have the person in charge of the bank, of the monopoly bank, saying that his only job is to bring inflation down, you're not going to have an explosion in the price of Bitcoin. It doesn't take a genius to see that. And I said that on the 4th before we had this big dump from $40,000, guys. So I'm all over this shit. If you're following other people who aren't focused on what is actually mattering in this market, which is this inflation release next week, if this inflation data comes out and is better than expectations, the expectations are going to be shitty. They're always going to be shitty for the rest of the year. The expectations are going to be really bad. If the inflation data comes down below expectations, we can expect a relief bounce in Bitcoin. You could make some money on that bounce, okay? But it's not going to go back to all-time highs, just so you're aware, okay? It's not going to go back to $80,000, just so you're aware. We might have a little bit of a relief bounce next week on Wednesday. If this data comes in above expectations, Bitcoin is going to dump. It is going to dump hard. It is going to go below $30,000 next week. You heard it here first on May 11th. 8:30 a.m. So that's what you have to look forward to next week. I will be live trading it once again in the Discord if you're interested in that. So to summarize before this video gets too long, I think that buying the dip is a dumbass strategy. You should wait for this thing to bottom out. And the way you're going to know that this thing is bottomed out is not by some kind of RSI bullish divergence charts. Oh, let's put some indicators on the screen. I have the indicators too, guys. Look, you see them? See all these squiggly lines? There's lines. Oh, we have a 9. We have a reversal signal. We have all these lines. So amazing. No, you're going to know that this shit is bottomed out when the Fed, when inflation drastically reduces course over the course of 2 to 3 months, inflation is coming down hard. Then we will be at a bottom, okay? Or when the Federal Reserve comes out and literally says, hey guys, we're going to provide liquidity to this market. And I'm going to know probably before all of you losers, because I'm watching, I'm not calling you a loser, I'm saying all of the other losers on Twitter who are saying bullish and to the moon, and I'm going to know before all of these people because I'm laser focused on what actually matters in this market. I've made a lot of money ever since I figured out what was the actual key back in it was like December 1st, 2021. I figured out that this was not about stock to flow, and we're going to 100K because it's following the 2017 cycle. Trust me, guys, I bought into all that too. Back here, when we were right here, I bought into the parabolic cycle just like everyone else. But then I realized what was actually driving this market, and now I'm hyper-focused on it, and it's going to end up paying off big time because we're going to ride this thing down, we're going to buy the exact bottom, and we're going to go from there. The last thing that I want to rant on, guys, is what was I going to say? We talked about the vaccine. We talked about how that data came out is horrible. We talked about the Roe versus Wade distraction. I don't know. I think that things are escalating. If you agree with that, make sure you smash the like button and share this with someone and come back for some more truth. But I just think that the government and the people that are in power right now, and whether that's people behind the scenes or people that are actually on your television, they're not being subtle anymore. Does anyone else agree with that? Let me make my face bigger so you guys can see. They're not being subtle anymore. These distraction plays, these things that they're doing, like leaking a Supreme Court ruling, guys. I've never seen anything like that in my lifetime. I don't think that that's something that is wow, right? You should really just be thinking wow, because I'm not following the squirrel, right? They're saying, look over here, fight about Roe versus Wade, look over at that thing. But really what I'm doing is I'm looking at what are they doing. And they are willing to compromise our democracy, leaking a Supreme Court ruling. That is some scary shit, guys. Some scary shit to cover up some even scarier shit, which is the fact that they forced people to quit their jobs or else get injected with an experimental vaccine that is now being proven to have killed people, a lot of people. And I think that data is going to come out and only get worse. So when you see these cover-ups happening in broad daylight, when you see them saying stuff like the Putin price hike, these bold-faced lies they're not even ashamed of it anymore. They're not even trying to hide it. They think that you're stupid. They think that you're a peon. They think that you're below them. And when I see stuff like this escalating and happening, I try to tune in, because I know that the only desperate people do stuff like this, right? You only see a crazy man running down the street naked because some desperate shit is happening in his life, right? He's like, it's fuck it, man. I'm running down the street nude. I don't know why that was my example, but I think that that's the same thing in this world right now. People are desperate. Businesses are suffering. They're laying off employees. The stock market isn't up only right now. Bitcoin is hard to trade. Inflation is really, really high. The Federal Reserve is backed up against a wall. All of their lies and schemes and holy shit stuff that they did the past 2 years is getting exposed. So people are getting desperate and they're about to do crazy shit. So take care of your families, take care of your friends, calm down, but also it's time to take off the glasses, take off the blinders of stuff that they've tried to implant into your heads. See the actual truth, and if you feel like called to it, I feel like we should all try to speak up against this stuff. We should all try to say what the truth is, what we perceive as the actual truth without the blinders on, because I think that the truth needs to get out. We need to expose some of this crazy shit that's happening so that we can fix it. We can have a better life for ourselves and our kids. And that's bigger than crypto, but it's going to affect crypto as well. So that's why all these videos are kind of a combination. So I hope all that made sense. Just wanted to rant a little bit from my hotel room. If you enjoyed this, please share this, because again, this is the last month of the BlockFi sponsorship. From then on out, it's just going to be 2 + 2 Genesis and talking the real truth. So the only way that people are going to see this show is if you guys share it. So I would really, really appreciate you guys helping me. Okay. Love you guys. Peace. Bye.